Welcome back to Spud Run Golf. Today we're going to talk about the green only, everything about the green. First I'm going to mow it. So let's do a quick time lapse of me mowing this green, and then we're going to talk more about it. And we got a couple other things we're going to do on the green today, so welcome back, guys. Got the green mowed. And I have some questions for you professionals, because I know we have a lot of professionals that watch. So I do have a couple questions later in the video to ask you about this golf green. I don't come here to YouTube to make videos to get advice. Man, you guys sure doing a lot more than I do. The first thing I want to do, the first question, or I should say the most asked question I get, is how fast are your greens? Although I don't get too tied up in Stimp, the speed, I'd rather have a lush, consistent, smooth green than speed. More speed means more problems. So I'll take a slower green any day, especially in a backyard situation. You know, this is not the PGA, it's the Spud Run GA, something like that. So let's check the Stimp, show you how we do that, and that might satisfy the thirst that some have to know how fast the greens are here Spud Run. Basically, I'm trying to find a fairly flat spot on the green so we'll get an accurate reading. This is a homemade rig I made to, basically it's designed, this hole is the size that once this reaches a certain height, this is 30 inches up, it releases. So we do 3 balls here, go that side, do 3 balls back. If the numbers, you know, if you measure 7 feet, 8 feet, that would be your Stimp, your average distance rolled both ways. So when they say they have a 12 Stimp, that's extremely fast. That's like Oakmont back in the day fast. It's pretty crazy, actually. I'm guessing we'll be around an 8 or so. 7 feet there. All right, that's telling me it's rolling at a 7. That's around a 7, maybe 7.5, which is extremely slow. The one, you know, I've got all kinds of cool equipment, but the one thing I could really benefit from would be a roller. That's how you get the speeds down. So a lot of the bigger courses, they're mowing and rolling almost every single day. And it just, I know for a fact, like if I rolled this right now, it'd probably be near a 10, 10.5, which is, like I said earlier, it's more to me about having a healthy green and giving my best chances of maintaining a healthy green with my limited time, you know, with the shade and the moisture. There's a lot of things going into that. So that's what we're rolling at. On to the next thing. We're gonna go ahead and change the cup here. I want to show you guys a profile of our root zone material. But when we're changing the cup, our green measures about 62 by 78, around 4,500 square feet, which is a small green. I think the average green in America is probably closer to around 8,000 to 9,000 square feet, which for what we're doing is perfect. So when we're changing the cup, here's what I look for. You know, we were up front, we still haven't put a pin location on the new part, which we're going to talk about this new part. It's got some struggles here in the last couple of days, but I think I know why, and I think I have a solution. We're going to go back kind of center, and I picked out a spot that's got a pretty nasty ball mark. So we're going to plug this right here. We're going to pull that core, and then I want to show you guys a profile. Get in there, come on. So it's about a 9-inch core. I think you can see here, we have roots clear down at this level, which obviously the deeper the roots, the healthier grass. Let's see if we can pop this out. I hope I don't ruin this plug, but it's gonna break apart. But for the video, we're gonna make it work. See, it's starting to break apart here. That tells me there's not a lot of roots down there. Our root mass is more in this top, which is holding it together. But isn't that cool? Just look how short that damn grass is. That's crazy. Now, as you can see, we've got our ball mark here. I mean, just look at that. Isn't that cool? And you can kind of see bits and pieces of that organic matter. Like there's some topsoil here. There's something black. So that's part of that organic matter. I'm carrying my baby, part of my baby around with me. This sumbitch is like a baby, come on. How much time it takes to take care of this thing. Whew. Obviously I made more of a mess than normal. That's okay. Within another week or so, I actually a couple days, you won't be able to tell this is even that. So what I do like to do, take my handy dandy pocket knife. I'm going to give them roots some action so they can enter the lock. I've had real good luck lately with changing cups and growing in. Now this green is really soft. You can see where my knee just was at. I made a 1/4 inch impression. Which brings me to my next point. A point that most golfers do not understand and understand the importance of it. That's top dressing. Let's talk about top dressing. Top dressing a golf green is probably the most underrated aspect of having a good, smooth, and true rolling golf green. People can top dress in a couple different ways. Rare and heavy, or often and light. I like to do the often and light, especially with that new green we're trying to grow in. Basically, we're just trying to add a thin layer of sand. I'm doing about weekly. So over time, that builds up, but it helps dilute the thatch. It's the biggest thing, which makes for a healthier turf. And then the biggest thing, I think, for me, is the trueness, the roll of the golf ball on that green is greatly enhanced by light top dressings all the time. Cool story real quick. There's pretty much 2 types of golf greens in the world. You have a push-up golf green or a USGA spec type golf green. The push-up golf green obviously was common back in the day because the availability of trucking in so much sand to do 9 or 18 greens, cost-wise and just availability of the sand, the correct type of sand, was about impossible. So push-up greens are quite common. They're very common in backyard America especially, where basically you're just using existing soils, maybe adding some sand, sculpting them, you know, grading them out, adding your bent grass seed, you roll, you mow, you water. That's a push-up green. Now we build ours more of a USGA type spec where we have several layers. We've got drainage, we've got gravel, drainage, we have a filter fabric, and then we have our root zone material, which is a special mix of sand, organic material, and a little topsoil. As I've read and talked to people in the industry, it's interesting to know that, like the local country club, built over 100 years ago. Now, when that thing was built, I can't imagine they had the availability to bring in tons of sand to build all those greens. There's 9 greens at that country club, but when they cut the cups, it's all sand. Now, you take 100 years of top dressing once or twice or several times a year, you know, if you're doing it light or if you're doing it heavy, but I know for a fact they're at least doing a couple times a year of aeration and a heavy top dressing. You take 100 years of that, and you could be talking about a buildup of a foot or more. I mean, just do the math. That's what I thought's interesting. Some of these older courses that top dress, you know, a golf green, it's growing grass, but at a true level, it's itself growing with the top dressing, the sand. It's building up and growing. It's getting higher and higher. And that's what we're gonna do next. I wanna show you how I top dress. Like I said, I've been doing it weekly, and I think it's promoting some good results. But I basically take this sand, and this is the same type of sand that was in my mix when I originally built this. It's like a masonry sand. Basically, I spread it out because it's moist, and I can't spread it consistently if it's wet. So I spread it out on concrete. A couple days it dries, and then I just randomly, I'll scoop some in the spreader, and I'll probably put 3 Lesco 80-pound spreader loads on that green today. It's really windy today, it really is. One of the biggest problems we're having right now, we are at the peak time of the year when it's most difficult to keep this green healthy and strong. It's just with the humidity, the temperatures, it's really tough this time of year. If we can get through the next couple weeks, I think we'll be golden. So, Bud Run people, this extension, I believe, it needs more water than the old part because I believe the roots are not as deep, so they can't go down and get more moisture. And it just, I feel like there's a balance of water between the old growth versus the new growth. And I've noticed just the last couple of days, I think this is just heat stress, but we've got a lot of, like these areas on the edge, that's newly developed. I think it's just got to do more with heat stress. Our fungicide program's been good, and I got a great email yesterday from EE. It sounds like he knows what he's talking about, so that's one of the benefits of this channel is I get people to email me Great advice. And a lot of times they're accompanied with pictures. I think he even offered to buy this plugger. He was talking about all these spots where we're looking at bare spots. There's a tool that pokes holes, basically just to allow more airflow and more water to get down the root system to help these areas recover. But yeah, I guess I'm looking for advice here. Is that a good practice, you think, where I can just, these little bare areas, go ahead and just kind of plug them lightly? Because I could even take my aerator. I've got some 1/4 inch solid tines just to poke a bunch of small holes all around. I could do that pretty quick. No top dressing, nothing like that. Just poke holes to let this thing breathe a little bit better. I think that might help. I mean, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And for the rookies out there like me that have no clue what we're doing, just keep enjoying the channel here, Spud Run Golf. The subscribers tournament's only, it's less than a month away, and I've got a lot of emails about that. So the subscriber tournament, all those guys were picked randomly last March. So the subscriber tournament is already full. It's already taken care of. We'll do it again next year. So if you missed out on this year, you can still catch it next year. I have a great story for you before we depart. Last week on a trip down to Georgia, on the way back, my wife fell asleep. I'm the guy that when we go on trips or road trips, I don't stop to pee. It's go, go, go. I'm on a mission. I want to beat that time clock. Well, she fell asleep, and we just happened to go by Washington Road in Augusta. I knew where we was at. Kind of needed fuel anyways. So I veered off. She wakes up. I'm driving real slow down the road. My phone out, taking a video. That close to Augusta National, you can't see nothing from the road. However, I knew right on the other side of that fence, on the other side of that gate, mere feet away, was one of the coolest and most historic places in all of golf in all of the world. It was cool to be there. I've not been inside those gates yet. Hopefully one day I will be. Good story. I was that close. Guys, that's all I got for you. My golf green here at Spud Run Golf. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing with us. Spud Run Golf, over and out. Wouldn't it be cool to have a golf green right here? Make that little valley into a fairway. That would make for some fun times. Tee off at the mill shop.